Design a life plan that inspires you, Jim Rohn. From the moment you wake and feel the first light on your eyelids, you sense the call to shape your own destiny. You sit up in bed and remember a phrase you once heard from Jim Rohn: if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. In that instant, you resolve that your life will be more than a series of random events. You will craft a plan that not only guides you but also inspires every step you take. You rise and stretch, picturing a blank page before you. On that page, you will sketch a life you love, a business that serves customers, a family that grows in joy, and a legacy that bears your name with pride. But first, you carry a notebook to your desk. The page is empty and waiting. You write today's date, July 16, 2025. You write a title, My Inspired Life Plan. And in the margin you write Jim Rohn's guiding question: what must I do today to create the tomorrow I want? In that moment, your heart quickens. You begin with purpose. You list the key areas of your life: health, relationships, work, contribution. You draw a circle around each word, linking them with arrows. See that they form a wheel, and you promise to keep the wheel balanced. You underline work twice, because as an entrepreneur you know that your enterprise must thrive too. Fuel every other part of your life. But before you dive into revenue goals, you pause. You ask yourself, who do I want to become? You recall Rohn's principle that personal development is the cornerstone of success. So you write down qualities: integrity, curiosity, resilience, generosity. You decide that each morning you will choose one quality to embody in your words and actions. Today, you choose courage. You turn to health. Imagine yourself 6 months from now strong, energized, able to outlast any challenge. Do you recall the story of Maya, a client who transformed her life by walking 3 miles daily? You invent your own story. Each sunrise you will walk, noticing birdsong and the rhythm of your breath, reminding you that every business breakthrough begins with small steps. Next, you move to relationships. You think of Carlos, a friend who once missed his daughter's recital because he was too busy at the office. You refuse that fate. In your plan, you schedule weekly date nights, monthly family hikes, and daily moments when you put the phone away. And ask your partner or a child a question that matters. You write, invest in love as I invest in my business. Now you turn to work. You draw a line down the page and subdivide it into vision, mission, goals, and actions. Under vision, you write, build a company that empowers small business owners to live boldly. Under mission, deliver tools, training, and community that transform ideas into thriving enterprises. Under goals, you list 3 big targets. For the year ahead, reach $500,000 in revenue. Onboard 100 active clients. Publish a flagship educational course. Under actions, you list bullet points: design website, plan marketing calendar, record course videos, host weekly mastermind calls. You smile at the clarity. But Jim Rohn taught that plan without discipline is only a wish. So you add a column: habits required. Next to design website, you write block 2 hours every Tuesday morning. Next to plan marketing calendar, you write brainstorm on Fridays after lunch. You see the connection? Habits fuel actions, actions build goals, goals fulfill vision. With your plan sketched, you lean back and breathe. Yet you know that inspiration fades unless you embed reminders. So you take colored pens and highlight your why statements. You write at the top of the page, because freedom means choice, and choice means life. You stick that page to your wall where you will see it every day. You laugh to yourself. Recalling Ron's story about his own setbacks, how he lost everything in his early business and had to rebuild from scratch, you draw strength from his resilience. You decide that when you face obstacles, you will remember that loss can precede growth. You scribble beneath your why: obstacles are gateways to new strength. That afternoon, you meet your friend Lisa at a cafe. You share your new plan with her, watching her eyes light up. She asks questions. How will you stay on track? What if you get distracted? You reply, I'll use weekly reviews. Every Sunday at 5, I'll measure progress, adjust tasks, and renew my commitments. You promise to hold her accountably, and she promises to cheer you on. Over the next week, you build momentum. You block your calendar, honor your walking routine, and complete the first draft of your course outline. You feel alive, but one evening, exhaustion hits. You almost skip your walk. You almost push the outline to tomorrow. Remember Ron's words? Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. You lace up your shoes and walk under a moonlit sky. Each step reminds you that consistency wins. In the second month, you hit your first snag. Your web designer misses deadlines. Your course script feels flat. You confront frustration. But you pause and revisit your plan. You realize you've designed your plan to be flexible. You call another designer. You rewrite your script with more stories. You'd find your own voice in the process. You remind yourself, a plan is a living document meant to evolve. By month 3, you host your first live webinar. You practice on your living room mirror, noting your gestures and tone. You smile at the faces of participants as they join online. You share your journey, your plan, your principles. You feel the power of clarity. People connect when you speak from purpose. By the end, 10 clients sign up for your program.
Celebrate.
But you also record notes for next time. Speak slower. Invite questions. In month 4, you face a personal dilemma. Your partner receives a job offer across the country. You could uproot, but that threatens your plan. You sit with your notebook and evaluate. You write a pros and cons list. You talk it through with your partner. You decide together that you will design a remote business model so you can relocate without sacrificing progress. You update your plan, find remote tools, and adjust schedule for time zones. You discover that design means adaptation. You draw a map of connected nodes, your plans, core areas, and their dependencies. See how moving affects relationships, work, and even your walking routine. You propose new habits. Morning calls after sunrise overseas, lunchtime check-ins with family back home. You embrace the adventure. Month 5 arrives and you find yourself waking in a new city. You explore the streets, fascinated by foreign signs and unfamiliar sounds. You walk along a river and journal under a tree. You realize that your life plan has guided you here, but you still have freedom to paint fresh strokes. You add a line under adventure, embrace new cultures to spark creativity. In month 6, you experience growth beyond expectations. Your revenue target is within sight. Your course sells out. You feel pride, but also humility. You remember Ron's lesson about contribution. The more you give, the more you get. You decide to host a free masterclass for underserved entrepreneurs. You plan, promote, and deliver. Over 100 business owners join and share gratitude. Your heart swells. As summer turns to autumn, you add a new section to your plan: personal development investments. You list books to read, on leadership, psychology, storytelling, and seminars to attend. You commit to quarterly retreats where you disconnect from screens and reconnect with your vision. You schedule the first retreat in October, 3 days in a mountain cabin. You can already taste the clarity you will find there. In month 8, you face a marketing setback. A campaign underperforms. Could panic. Instead, you revert to your plan's principle of feedback and learning. You survey customers. Run A/B tests. You discover that your messaging needs more emotional storytelling. You rewrite your ads, infusing them with the tales of your own transformation. Click rates climb. You celebrate the lesson. Failure refines focus. By the 9th month, you feel the power of small daily wins. You tally your habits. 260 walks completed, 36 video lessons recorded, 52 weekly reviews, 1,000 pages read. You are not the same person you were when you began. You are stronger, wiser, and inspired. Yet you also see that time flew. You realize that many thought a life plan was rigid. But your plan has been a compass, not handcuffs. It has guided you while letting you explore. You decide to write a new section: future flexibility. Commit to quarterly updates, tweaking goals, adjusting habits, celebrating fresh insights. As your first year of planning draws near, you prepare a grand reflection. You revisit each area: health, relationships, work, contribution, growth, and You grade yourself on a scale of A to C. You celebrate A's and analyze C's for improvement. You write notes, delegate more marketing tasks, and deepen daily gratitude practice. Then you look ahead. You set vision for year 2. Expand your course into a full academy. Launch a mentorship circle and partner with nonprofits to give back. You draw a new circle on a fresh page, linking your successes to new aspirations. On the final day of your year, you close your notebook and stand before the sunrise. You feel gratitude for the plan you designed, but also for the person you became. Through its pursuit, you whisper thanks to Jim Rohn's wisdom and to your own courage. You know now that designing a life plan that inspires you is not a one-time act, but a lifelong practice. Each day you choose to shape your life, to embrace growth, to give generously, and to live boldly.